Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do a 2 looks, 1 palette with this palette here. So it's the Essence I Got This palette, and this palette's actually going to be in my Ulta haul video that I did recently. I got this when I went to Ulta, and let me show you the inside of the palette. This is what the palette looks like here. So we're going to do 2 separate looks, and we'll just go ahead and get into it. I already have my eyebrows, well, a rough draft of my eyebrows, and then I also do have foundation on, just a super light coverage because I might go back in later once I've finished my eyes. I really wanted to get the face done and then do the eye look, but I just can't do it that way. Like, I don't know why, but I just feel like I need to do my eyes first and then do my face after. So it'll be really interesting once I get to the second look if I'm able to keep all the face makeup on and only remove the eyes. And I've got allergies really bad right now, so we'll see if I can do 2 separate looks or not. So let's just get into it. Actually, let's see. Totally forgot to set my eyes. I did prime them, but let me just go in like a fluffier brush and this Get Natural shade in this palette. It's this one. So I'm just going to use that to set my eye. I think that's probably the best option we have in this palette for that, but let's see. So for this first look, I definitely want to try something more natural, and actually, okay, maybe not super natural, but I really want to use this shade. It's Into the Woods, and I remember this being one of the shades that I was really like intrigued by when I swatched the palette. So I'm not doing swatches in this video because I already did it in my Ulta video, and I also might post a picture of the swatches on my Instagram. If I do, I'll link it down below. It might not be today, but it is something that I'm interested in doing. So let me show you. This is Into the Woods. It's a really pretty like duochrome color where it's kind of like purpley silver. Some angles of it actually kind of looks like brown tone too, but this color is really pretty. So I think definitely want to do kind of a simple look with this, but have it be basically using mainly this shade, and then I'll use like a transition shade after to kind of make it blend a little bit more. But I think that this color would look really pretty like on its own. So we're gonna see how that looks and maybe do a cat eye with it. I think that would look really pretty. Oh, by the way, I've never used this palette, so we'll see how this goes as far as trying to do 2 separate looks. But the shade range really allows you to do a ton of different looks. So we're gonna try to do this. Also, I don't really go over the brushes that I'm using, but for the sake of today's video, I'll show you what the brush looks like and then I'll just use it. Most of my brushes right now that I'm using are from Amazon. Some of them are older, like Morphe brushes, and some are Real Techniques, I think. Brushes, you can really use whatever you want to, so I don't like to dwell too much on the brushes, but for the sake of this video, I will show you what the brush looks like and then we'll go from there. So this is one from Amazon. I got like a set, I think it was like 15 or 20 of them for like $15. I honestly don't remember. Already I feel like this might be a really good color to use with your fingers. I just feel like using your fingers for a lot of shadows just really helps them pop. I mean, it's so easy to blend using your fingers, and I feel like it's just, for an impatient person, I think using my fingers sometimes helps things go by a little bit like faster. And I'm already getting a ton of fallout. So this is exactly why I do my face after and not before, because I mean, I did put a lot on my brush, so that might have a lot to do with it. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there is a decent amount of fallout there. But this color is absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm just bringing the shadow up higher on my lid and making sure that it's nice and blended out. And this brush that I'm using is just a standard like eyeshadow brush. So we can always go in with a clean brush and kind of buff out this side here. And I don't know how well you can see this, but this shade is just gorgeous. Like, it's got, I don't know, it's like silvery but purple. Also kind of feels like it has like a brown base to it a little bit. When I'm looking at it here, this is, I think it's really pretty. It's very, like, it's definitely one of those shades that you can just wear on its own and it would look gorgeous, which is basically what we're doing today. So I'm gonna use this brush here. This is a brush that I got from my Ipsy bag a couple months ago. So I'm just gonna use this clean brush and kind of like buff out the corners. And this shade is so interesting because it mildly looks like, you know, certain angles it looks like I'm not wearing really anything on my eyelid. And then certain lighting, it just looks like bam. I am getting like a lot of fallout though. Normally that doesn't really bother me because, like I said, I usually do my eyes before my face, so it's a lot easier to clean up and then go from there. I'll just have to be a little more careful with how I take it off since I do already have foundation on, but I didn't do concealer, so that's one of the reasons why, that way I can clean it up with that too. Then I'm just going to use this color right here, Get Fancy, and then yeah, I'll use that one, and that'll just kind of be transition shade in a way to kind of blend out if there is anything that needs to be blended still, just to give it a little more depth. But honestly, you could probably just wear this shade alone. I don't even feel like it really needs anything else. Kind of bringing it into that outer V and back in. And just take a little bit more of that shade in this outer V right here again. Kind of all over the place when I do my makeup. I mean, it's very simple, but I think it's pretty. Then I kind of want to see, I'm gonna take that into the woods color with my finger and then kind of see how much more pigment we can get just like right on the eyelid right here. See if it becomes a little, like it pops a little bit more. So now that I have to kind of go back in, I'm just going to go back in with that Get Fancy shade that we used right in here. Definitely need more on the outer corner now that I had to take some of that fallout off. Just going to use this, a little bit of that Get Natural color that I used over to set my eyes. I'm just going to use a little bit of that underneath my brow bone. So we're just going to use a little bit of that. I'm just using a flat like eyeshadow brush for that. And that color is actually pretty similar to my skin color, so it's not going to be super apparent. And we're just going to use that to kind of blend out the top of the look even more. Going to use this shade Eye Blush, so that one right here, and I'm going to use that in as like an inner corner highlight, and I might use a little tiny bit under my brow bone. Let's see, just going to use this brush here. I believe actually this is an Essence brush, because it's a smoky eye brush, so it's probably not intended for this. And then I already have like a little bit of that Into the Wood shade also kind of like in that inner corner. I was gonna clean it up, but you know what, I think I like it, so I'm just gonna add this into there as well to make it really pop. And that shade's actually kind of silvery, but it also might be the two colors like mixed in together that are giving us that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing onto the other eye, and actually probably going to do the rest of my face, the other eye, and then come back before I do the eyeliner. Alright, so I am back and the rest of this look is darker than I was planning, but I just felt like I needed just a little something else to kind of finish it rather than having like a super neutral lip. So I won't go into too many details of like what else I used. Face and everything is done. The lipstick was an old Makeup Monsters lip. I don't even remember what color it is anymore. So it's, okay, so it's Maroon Masquerade. So I used that shade, and then I used some of the Into the Woods color that I used on my lids on the middle of my lips. So I'll just zoom you in. Just used a little bit of it, and then for the lashes, I used the Kiss Naked Drama lashes. I think it's in Tulle. I'm so bad at pronouncing things. But I've never used these lashes before and I think they're really pretty, so I'm excited how everything turned out. I didn't fully finish my brows with like brow gel or anything just because I'm going to be taking this off and then doing another look. So I didn't want to spend too much time on the rest of this. But you know, overall, I'm actually pretty happy. I mean, I think that shade is really pretty. It's, I don't know, it's just super pretty. You can even see like a little bit of it on my lips. It's just a really nice like iridescent shade. And yeah, I think overall, like, I think this is super pretty. I'm actually kind of sad that I'm gonna take it off and do another look. So hopefully the next look turns out just as good or better. But we'll go ahead and show you. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and take this off, come back and do another look. Okay, now that we're back and got crazy hair, now we're back and going to do the second look. So I took everything off my face except my brows. And yeah, I'm not sure where I want to go with this one. I wanted to do like a kind of another neutral look or like a warm toned look. I mean, I'm going to show the palette again because you can literally, you have a lot of different options here. But instead of going more neutral or more warm toned, I think I'm gonna go with maybe either the blues or greens and purples. But I feel like I've done a lot of purple stuff recently, so I did do a couple swatches before to see like what color I wanted to work with. Now these colors, they're really pretty. I'm just kind of scared they're gonna be a little too opaque, or you know, like they're just not gonna, not that they're not gonna build up, but I don't know what way I want to go with this just because I don't know how these shades really work. Like I said, I haven't used this palette before, so I'm a little hesitant, but it doesn't mean that the shades aren't going to be amazing because they totally could be. But let's see. Actually, I totally forgot to prime my eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera and then we'll come back to do the rest of it. Okay, so now we are primed and ready to go. That felt ridiculous. I think I know what I want to do. We'll see if it works. So let me find the brush I need. So I'm gonna use this fluffy brush right here. Ugh, my hands are dirty. And I'm gonna go in with this On Stage color. I should probably clean my hands off. It's alright, we'll just roll with it. So a little bit on that brush, tap off the excess, and just put this. This is going to be our transition color. It doesn't really show up super well on my skin tone, but it's not going to be the primary focus or anything. So I think it'll be okay for what we're using it for. Just really to give the lid a little more color. I think I want to try to do like a colorful wing with some of the shadows. Kind of see how that goes. And of course, if it doesn't work, then we'll try something else. Gonna use a little bit of that Get Fancy shade that we used for the look earlier, just to add a little bit more color. It's a nice like wash of color there. Doesn't have to be anything super fancy. I'm not entirely sure how I want this to go. Well, I know how I want it to go, but I don't know if it's gonna work that way. I'm gonna try using some of the NYX glitter primer. Sorry, this bottle is super dirty. But even though I already primed and set that area, I'm just gonna use a little bit of it to see if this will help with what I'm trying to do. I'm just gonna, we'll see if this works and go from there. I've never tried anything like this before, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work. But I took a little bit of eyeshadow primer in the back of my hand, and we're gonna try to mix that in the shadow before we apply it. I want to do like a wing of color using the green, blue, and then the darker shade, like a darker blue shade. So I'm gonna try it with just a slanted eyeshadow brush, not eyeshadow, sorry, eyeliner brush, and see if that gives us the look that I want. And this might not even be the right like approach to this, so we'll see if this works or not. It actually is coming out pretty pigmented. I know there's probably people somewhere freaking out that I'm using an eyeliner, not eyeliner, well, eyeliner slash eyebrow brush for this, but actually wasn't going to use it for the whole thing, and I was just going to use it for the wing, but here we are. That color is super pretty. I guess I should probably zoom in a little bit more too. Okay, so I'm gonna take it's like a flat concealer brush and go in with this next shade, and it's the one below it, so it's this blue one here in High Honey. Just kidding, the green one's High Honey and the blue one is Get Lucky. The next thing we're gonna do, and this is probably where it gets a little tricky, I'm gonna do this in the dark color, so that one right there, and we're gonna try to wing it out, so we'll see how this looks. I'm gonna see, probably try to wing it out now. I don't know if I completely explained what I was doing, but basically I'm just taking shadow on my brush and then mixing it in with the eyeshadow primer on my hand, and then kind of using that to kind of have more of like an eyeliner consistency. Just need to add a little bit more of that primer. And so basically, well, I can't show you it now because I basically used all of the eyeshadow primer. Kind of just mixing it in, and then hopefully it would have an easier application, and so far it seems to be pretty good. Obviously these aren't eyeliners, so they're a little harder to work with to use it that way. So far, I mean, obviously it's kind of laying a little bit weird just because of my eye shape. Maybe I probably should bring it out a little bit more too. Maybe that would help the shape a little bit. But so far I like the way that it's turning out. Of course I'll have to go back in and like blend the colors and everything a little bit better. But I was kind of concerned that I wasn't going to be able to make the wings. So now that I can fix everything else accordingly. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of the shadow on the brush and then going in to that primer in the back of my hand. Sorry, my hand's kind of dirty because I was using it for the other shades. So you're just kind of like mixing it in together on the back of your hand. So you're gonna like mix it in together, and then I can't even think of the word. So you mix it in together, and then sometimes I go back into the pan and just pick up a little bit more product, and that's basically helping us, you know, have a more smooth application. I don't know how this would have reacted. I didn't use the eyeshadow base. Maybe it doesn't actually make a difference, but judging by the swatches on the back of my hand and then how everything is applying on the lid with that method, I think that it has helped. But the glitter eyeshadow base too might have, I don't know exactly what one is making it this way. I would like to say that both methods with the eyeshadow or the glitter base and then this method of taking the primer and the eyeshadow is kind of like working together to create this, but I haven't used it without that method, so maybe this is pointless. Don't know. I would like to think that it wasn't, but but so far, I mean, so far I feel like this is looking pretty good. Definitely looks better kind of at this angle. If you're gonna try to use the whole lid and then make a wing, either you can make it super dramatic or try to make it a little more subtle. And this, I just want it to look like very like fluid and just a nice little wing. Okay, so not bad. I mean, the shape is looking kind of weird, but I don't know, I can trying to like match it up with the crease of my eye. So I don't know if I want to add too much to it because then it's gonna have to go past the crease. So I think this is probably good for now. Just kind of following my eye shape so it does look a little weird, but I mean overall I'm not mad. So now I'm just gonna go in with the shades and kind of blend them in a little bit more with one another. Since I have that darker shade on the brush, I'm just gonna kind of go in with my finger in the middle. I always like blending out shadows with my fingers anyways, so not a surprise. Just go back in with that blue shade. So I'm gonna zoom you in. So that's what we have so far, and now I'm gonna go do this on the other eye. And I might actually even do the rest of my face. Okay, so this is the final look. I do have a little bit of creasing where the shadow is on my, using my hands, on the crease, but that's kind of to be expected. I could have tried to go like over it a little bit to maybe try to stop the creasing, but I think it might have happened anyways. But we're gonna go in, get in a little bit closer. Alright, that way you can see what the eye look looks like before lashes. I'm gonna go ahead and put lashes on and I will be right back. So we're back, have the eyelashes on, and we are good to go because I just did 2 separate looks today and I'm just like, get me out of the house. But I mean, I had a lot of fun with this palette. I'm not gonna get like into a bunch of details about it, but I thought it was really easy to work with. I think the shade selection is gorgeous. I'm excited to keep using it and to keep working with it. I really didn't have any problems with it, to be honest. The first look I did have a lot of fallout. I don't think I really had it as bad this time, but I did apply everything differently, so that probably has a lot to do with it too. Maybe it would be a good idea, especially for any of these shimmers, to do like a glitter adhesive or something. I'm sure that would help. But yeah, I think this palette is gorgeous. Like I said, I'm excited to keep using it. I'm just holding it and talking like this and you can't see it, but I really enjoyed working with this today. I hope you guys enjoyed both looks and that you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful to you. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time.